Lance Marshall was a hacker, not a criminal by choice, but by necessity. His skills with code and bypassing security systems had made him a legend in the dark corners of the net. But even legends fall, and the Galactic police had finally caught up with him. His arrest was swift, his trial brief, and his punishment harsh, to be sent to one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy, a place known only as Vorex 9, a world that few who entered ever returned from. But Lance wasn't one to back down from danger. He could have taken the prison sentence, sat in a cell for the next decade, but he chose the unknown, the risk. If he was going to be exiled, he might as well make it an adventure. Besides, he'd survived worse. The shuttle was a rusted hunk of metal, and its controls felt outdated. The journey would take years, but he didn't mind. He could lose himself in the vastness of space, perhaps disappear completely. But something went wrong during the journey, something he couldn't have predicted. The ship's engines sputtered, then shut down entirely. A jarring crash shook Lance out of his seat, throwing him forward into the control panel. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the dark void of space outside became a blur of stars. He gripped the side of the seat, teeth clenched. "Shit," he muttered, desperately trying to regain control. But it was no use. The ship was plummeting, out of control. A violent tremor ran through the ship as it entered the atmosphere of an unknown planet. The hull groaned, bending and screeching as it made a rough landing, debris scattering as the shuttle crashed into soft but dense vegetation. Smoke and dust filled the cockpit. But Lance, surprisingly unhurt, scrambled out of his seat, heart racing. He stumbled to the hatch, pushing it open to reveal a lush, vibrant world. The air smelled sweet and foreign, the planet's skyline glowing with structures that looked like they belonged in a dream. Towering trees with purple leaves swayed gently, and there was something almost ethereal about the place. Lance wiped the sweat from his brow, realizing his ship was too damaged to take off again. His escape plan had crashed, quite literally. He had no choice but to explore. Maybe find help. Maybe find a way off this world. But as he stepped forward, he noticed something odd. The planet was beautiful. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and fruit trees. Strange creatures darted through the air, flying lizards with iridescent scales and humanoid figures hidden in the shadows. But what caught his eye most were the women. Tall, graceful, and impossibly beautiful, they moved with a calm authority. Their clothes, simple yet elegant, seemed to shimmer in the warm light. They walked with purpose, eyes scanning the surroundings, their long, flowing hair glinting like the stars themselves. Lance could only stand there, mesmerized. He didn't know where he was, but he had the sudden, undeniable feeling that he'd landed on the wrong side of the galaxy. This planet was ruled by these women, and from the looks of things, they were not the sort of people you would want to cross. A figure approached from the crowd, the others stepping aside in silent reverence. The woman had long silver hair, piercing violet eyes, and a confident posture. There was a fire in her gaze, something sharp and predatory. She was wearing a sleek, form-fitting suit that accentuated her statuesque frame, and the subtle smile on her lips was far from comforting. "Well, well, what do we have here?" Her voice was soft, but there was a dangerous edge to it. Lance swallowed hard, suddenly feeling very small. My ship crashed. I need help," he stammered, trying to sound confident, though he knew there was little chance of him escaping her judgment. The woman stepped closer, her eyes scanning him from head to toe with a calculating look. "You're far from home, Earthman," she said, her tone dripping with amusement. "What makes you think you can wander onto our world and not be evaluated?" Lance didn't know whether to be intimidated or intrigued. Something told him this wasn't just a simple rescue mission. He was in dangerous territory, and these women were not to be underestimated. "Please," he tried again, his voice firmer this time. "I just need to fix my ship and leave. I mean, no harm." She tilted her head, considering him. "Fix your ship? I don't think it's that simple. You've stumbled into a place where your kind is very interesting. I think you'll find that we take great interest in all visitors from foreign worlds." Her smile widened.